Good morning, everybody. Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever, whenever you see this and get or hear this, whatever you might be doing. Welcome. I'm Anise Kavanaugh. It's good to have you here again. We're doing more and more of these videos just to give you things to think about as you're building out your leadership, your culture, your workforce, creating more positive energy in your world, creating more impact in your world. There's lots and lots of good things to be thinking about. And today I want to talk about workforce well-being programs and addressing burnout in the organization. And I specifically want to speak to some of the nuance that you want to be tending to if you are addressing those things. So I just came out of a forum of sorts, an informational shareback with some people from, it was Josh Burson, some of his team, an executive from Verizon, Jim Pass was there, just a couple of different organizations who've come together. They're really looking at the return on investment in workforce well-being. So we'll find the link and post it when we get it back. If they're making that available publicly, I'm not sure yet. I'm assuming they are. But the reason why I wanted to talk to you about this today is because this is something that is always in the hearts of our team at ACI. It's something that we've been working on for over 20 years in really looking at how do you make the connection between productivity, workforce well-being, self-care, which we now call leader care, and all these different pieces and how important that is. But we've also found in doing this work over the years that there's some important nuance to be paying attention to if you want to create sustainable programs. And if you want to make sure that you're really, really, really digging in at a deep enough level that you're going to inspire people to participate in your programs versus have it just be another kind of a whack-a-mole flavor of the month or something extra to do. So before I get into that, just want to say the research is awesome. The research that they shared back today, the return on investment, I don't have the numbers in front of me yet because I need to see the report, but what they were sharing back is in terms of return on investment for healthcare costs going down, productivity going up, retention going up, attrition going down, Glassdoor ratings going up. What else did they talk about? I'm forgetting a major obvious one, but the research all in all has been really, really great, showing that there's a direct correlation between well-being programs in organizations and how the workforce responds to them, their engagement, all the good stuff that we're always looking at. How do we measure that? How do we bring that up? So super excited that's being done. Many years ago, many of you probably don't know this, but when I first started my career back in the 90s, I actually worked for a major oil organization. It was a Fortune 50, I think. I don't remember. It was big, huge organization. And I worked in their health and productivity division. And my job at that time was to work with the rest of the team around really helping, at that time, health and productivity, workforce well-being programs, health promotion. It was kind of a very new thing. It wasn't very popular. In fact, I can remember really us having to do a lot of educating, a lot of, proving why it was important that we were doing it, getting people to understand how their well-being impacted the company's return, the company's bottom line, all that good stuff. And that was back in the 90s. And I remember at the very beginning, again, I was a health and productivity advisor. So I was overseeing fitness programs, health promotion programs. We were consulting with their executives. I would go in and I would do ergonomic checks. I can remember going to the C-suite to do ergonomic checks. I was in San Francisco. I'd run around San Francisco in my gym outfit. Anyway, lots and lots of fun. And one of the things that I learned from that role, and we ended up winning some really great C. Everett Koop awards and stuff like that for our programming. But one of the things that I remember being so struck by in that work was how important it was to not just have programming and not just have perks like EAP and gym memberships and apps and all that stuff. I don't even think we had apps back then, not to totally date myself, but actually to really tap into the human spirit of why it was important. And I remember at that time, we weren't necessarily making that explicit, but it's something that I've come to learn over the years is a missing piece that often gets forgotten, or we're just so busy we don't think about it as we're developing well-being programs and as we're developing initiatives to reduce, navigate, transform, eliminate, banish burnout. So I just want to presence that as I talk a little bit more about some of the nuance. Well-being is super important. Exercise programs are important. Eating well is important. EAP is important. Mental health is important. Therapy is important. Our mental health and our physical health are directly related. We run leadership cohorts with our clients, and we were running a leadership cohort yesterday. We talked about the particular cohort topic yesterday was on leader care. And we were drawing the connection between how a person's physical health is directly related to their mental health. And the more we take care of ourselves physically, the easier it is to, like, our mental health starts to shift. And then when our mental health is good, we can start to feel even more engaged and excited about getting physically active. So it's this really beautiful Mobius strip. But there's something that's even deeper than that. And what's even deeper than that is making sure that people are really connected to the intentions for why they're participating in their own well-being. Their intentions, that the energy that they're bringing to the table as they're participating in their well-being is really clear, and that they're understanding that the energy that they create in their well-being is actually going to help them meet more of their intention and help them have more of their impact. And then, of course, you know where I'm going next, which is their presence, paying attention to their presence and being really present with themselves so they become connected to what's important to them about their well-being. If you do well-being programs and you do all these wonderful things for your people, but you're not actually creating the space to have them get really clear around what we call their IEP, their intentions, energy, and presence. If they're not doing that, then it's very likely that it's going to turn into something that's more like a whack-a-mole engagement. It's a flavor of the month. It's something they should be doing, when really, if we can get them involved honestly, authentically, with getting them really clear from an IEP perspective, really clear from what we call their essentially, which we have an entire model around with what their essential you is. What we find is that when we get our clients completely connected to their essential you and what they're all about and how this is important to them, and we get them truly, truly committed from the inside out, all of the well-being stuff amplifies the return on investment. It amplifies their excitement. It amplifies their commitment. It amplifies the authenticity. So if you're running well-being programs and they're going fantastic, that's wonderful. If you're running well-being programs or you're thinking about it and you're not getting the impact you want to start to look at what is it that you're missing that's getting in the way of having the impact you want through your well-being programs. And often it is executive engagement is not happening. So we see this all the time where a company wants to sponsor a program. They sponsor the IEP work. The employees are really excited about it. The workforce is really excited about it. But if their leaders and their managers aren't participating in it, that can actually kind of diminish participation. That's kind of a big deal, actually. We see where the executives feel like they're there to sponsor the program because they're so busy, they got to do everything else. But if they are not attending to their own well-being and their own IEP, then that actually sends a negative message to other people because it shows that they're not actually totally engaged in it and sponsoring it, supporting it. So that can diminish your well-being programs, or any program, really, any program. The other thing is if the executives and the workforce is not connected to why it is so important for them personally to be involved, that can diminish the impact of a program. So we want to really start to get clear about what is so important about this, about whatever it is you're going to invite your people to do, so that their intentions, energy, and presence are in alignment. And when our intentions, energy, and presence are in alignment with whatever we're going to do, all of a sudden it becomes so much easier to look at, all right, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to take care of myself in a really sustainable way? How do we make self-care a we problem versus just a me problem? A lot of companies right now, the example I gave of executives sponsoring programs are just going like, fine, let's just take care of it. Burnout's big. We got to take care of burnout. Let's take care of it. But then the executives aren't actually engaging in that work themselves. One, it's not good for the executives because you guys need it too. You need it more than anybody, I think, actually. And two, it sends a mixed message. So you want to just really take a look at what's actually happening to create more success in your programs or to take away from the success in your programs. And if you're just doing the well-being, you're hitting it at the surface. You actually want to go deeper, go into the intentional energetic presence of each person, give people a place to pause, take a step back, really look at what is it you want to create in your organization? What kind of culture do you want to create? And from that place, you're going to know exactly what needs to happen from a well-being standpoint. But until you do the deeper work, it's very likely that you're going to have a hard time on creating programs that are sustainable, that truly impact people at the level that you want them to impact them, and that get you your biggest return on investment. So I think that's what I want to say for now. There was a lot more that I thought of when I was listening to that, and then also kind of looking through some of the data that we just ran a program and we're getting feedback on it now, and just looking at the programs and the participants that have the biggest return on investment are the ones where the executives are actively participating as well. They're also the ones where the clients, the participants, have done their work around why well-being is important to them, not just because it's a benefit that's been given to them. So invitation to pause today and to take a look at that. If you would like to talk with us about this, if you're running a well-being program, that's fantastic. I am going to encourage you to build the IEP work into it. Because if you can build the IEP work into it, and there's an entire methodology, and the methodology is something that can be learned in under 2 hours, or you can go really, really deep. So there's a lot of flexibility we have to integrate this into your workforce. But I'm going to encourage you to really start to look at how do you build the IEP methodology into whatever training or well-being program or burnout program you have. Because if you don't have the IEP right, everything else is built on top of it. It's going to be more tactics. So we want you to have deep change. So if you're interested in talking about that, please reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation. Otherwise, just please take care of yourself and model the self-care that you would love to see your people having. Research shows again and again and again, there's a major return on investment for this. People are more productive. They feel better. And, oh, by the way, they're nicer to people, which remember that your people are leaving their managers and their leaders. They're not necessarily leaving their job. They're leaving their managers and their leaders. So the better your managers and leaders take care of themselves authentically and sustainably, the nicer, kinder, more patient, more inspiring they become, which then your people are going to stay. So I could just go on all day long. So this is all over the place. We're going to leave it here. Have a beautiful day, and happy to talk more about this if this is of interest to all of you.